Were they CEOs at 1 a.m. before? Were they CEOs at 1 a.m. before? Was she a fashion designer? Was she a fashion designer? They may not have known before. They may not have known before. Did they answer? Did they answer? Fun. Fun. I will try to do my best. I will try to do my best. Get some rest. Get some rest. John fell badly in the garden 2 days ago. John fell badly in the garden 2 days ago. I found my keys. I found my keys. You wouldn't be an occasional lawyer. You wouldn't be an occasional lawyer. I never watch TV. I never watch TV. Change can be difficult, but it can also be good. Change can be difficult, but it can also be good. She cooked for us tonight. She cooked for us tonight. As soon as possible. As soon as possible. Why did you tell me it's just a stressful time? Why did you tell me it's just a stressful time? You go to the mall on Saturdays. You go to the mall on Saturdays. Are you a player? Are you a player? Can you lend me your pen? Can you lend me your pen? You may not reply after an hour. You may not reply after an hour. Does he sign? Does he sign? I can do an acrobat soon. I can do an acrobat soon. Aren't we going to report in a month? Aren't we going to report in a month? Is our sister a sheriff? Is our sister a sheriff? I won't go out if it rains. I won't go out if it rains. I may not find out after 5 p.m. I may not find out after 5 p.m. Can they reproduce? Can they reproduce? 2 houses beyond description. 2 houses beyond description. Should it be over before? Should it be over before? He could be a truck driver for 2 weeks. He could be a truck driver for 2 weeks. Your grandparents are sailors. Your grandparents are sailors. Will you return at dawn? Will you return at dawn? I hope you are well. I hope you are well. She was doing her makeup when her friend arrived. She was doing her makeup when her friend arrived. Would strain at dawn. Would strain at dawn. You can become a sociologist right away. You can become a sociologist right away. We can't eat. We can't eat. His mother is a trainee. His mother is a trainee. There would be no hostess at dawn. There would be no hostess at dawn. Then we will not adjust. Then we will not adjust. They play basketball on the weekends. They play basketball on the weekends. About 80% of the world's population lives in urban areas. About 80% of the world's population lives in urban areas. You can be the assistant chef. You can be the assistant chef. They go to the lake to swim. They go to the lake to swim. Will I weld occasionally? Will I weld occasionally? The environment is very important to our survival. The environment is very important to our survival. We could have cried the night before. We could have cried the night before. We should be economists every year. We should be economists every year. I'm in the room with dinner. I'm in the room with dinner. You understand that, right? You understand that, right? We cannot place. We cannot place. You were borrowing daily. You were borrowing daily. We question. We question. Is our friend a rower? Is our friend a rower? Our wife was a botanist. Our wife was a botanist. They will adopt a dog from the shelter. They will adopt a dog from the shelter. He goes to the park on the weekends. He goes to the park on the weekends. I normally take it off. I normally take it off. I like to eat apples. I like to eat apples. Older people often need help. Older people often need help. Connected weekly? Connected weekly? Was our stepdad a mechanic? Was our stepdad a mechanic? My other sister, Nicole, works as a branch manager at a large bank. My other sister, Nicole, works as a branch manager at a large bank. I couldn't play the drums occasionally. I couldn't play the drums occasionally. Is our neighbor a worker? Is our neighbor a worker? Are their grandchildren sheriffs? Are their grandchildren sheriffs? Colleague is an athlete. Colleague is an athlete. My mom and dad are greengrocers. My mom and dad are greengrocers. She is a great cook and loves to try new recipes. She is a great cook and loves to try new recipes. It's very useless. Useless. Without any additives. It's very useless. Useless. Without any additives. Can't you wonder? Can't you wonder? My relatives do. My relatives do. It's hard not to know. But I know it's a process. It's hard not to know. But I know it's a process. Were they challenging? Were they challenging? I value myself a lot. I value myself a lot. Prepare to be impressed by the new president. Prepare to be impressed by the new president. He could not immediately become a statistician. He could not immediately become a statistician. Can you help me with these bags? Can you help me with these bags? He doesn't eat until his food is cold. He doesn't eat until his food is cold. We will present our proposal at the meeting. We will present our proposal at the meeting. Can you try these slippers? Can you try these slippers? Her stepdaughter is an environmentalist. Her stepdaughter is an environmentalist. David learns to drive tomorrow. David learns to drive tomorrow. Is your grandfather a bartender? Is your grandfather a bartender? His father is a teacher. His father is a teacher. I am a scientist and I study the sea. I am a scientist and I study the sea. You will trust. You will trust. I'm in the room with the sofa. I'm in the room with the sofa. Should it normally type? Should it normally type? Should not agree. Should not agree. After a month they can become carpenters. After a month they can become carpenters. Does not appear. Does not appear. I did not have time. I did not have time. Shouldn't we be driving at dusk? Shouldn't we be driving at dusk? Separate. Separate. Approximately. Approximately. Don't I save often? Don't I save often? Were his parents statisticians? Were his parents statisticians? Autonomy. Autonomy. Would you come with me? Would you come with me? This is a kind of apple. This is a kind of apple. Stairs. Stairs. Don't we rarely have to get manicures? Don't we rarely have to get manicures? Shouldn't he be a banker often? Shouldn't he be a banker often? Cannot calculate. Cannot calculate. His uncle was a dietitian. His uncle was a dietitian. Would they destroy? Would they destroy? His brothers were actors. His brothers were actors. I don't deserve to be treated like this. I don't deserve to be treated like this. Would he touch? Would he touch? If it gets cold, I won't go out. If it gets cold, I won't go out. They would clean. They would clean. Can we suggest? Can we suggest? Can he become a pathologist after 2 years? Can he become a pathologist after 2 years? We will travel to France next week. We will travel to France next week. Shouldn't he be watching? Shouldn't he be watching? Sometimes I don't have lunch. Sometimes I don't have lunch. Can we imply 5 centuries ahead? Can we imply 5 centuries ahead? I have too many ideas. I have too many ideas. Who are you looking for? Who are you looking for? Can't lift it from time to time? Can't lift it from time to time? How much will it take? How much will it take? Do you like swimming? Do you like swimming? Then it doesn't act like 4 in the morning. Then it doesn't act like 4 in the morning. Time. Time. I'm not qualified to understand quantum physics. I'm not qualified to understand quantum physics. Your relatives were hunters. Your relatives were hunters. Do you need to speak a language? Do you need to speak a language? Some of my favorite foods are pizza and ice cream. Some of my favorite foods are pizza and ice cream. Thanks for the update. Thanks for the update. I won't believe until I see it. I won't believe until I see it. Weekly consultant. Weekly consultant. I love climbing mountains and discovering new roads. I love climbing mountains and discovering new roads. Will you close after a weekend? Will you close after a weekend? Can't compare next year? Can't compare next year? Can you give me a job? Can you give me a job? We should probably go. We should probably go. You go to the mall on Saturdays. You go to the mall on Saturdays. Didn't you get organized right away? Didn't you get organized right away? Hosted by the children. Hosted by the children. Should they insist? Should they insist? Sorry, we don't have rooms available for this price. Sorry, we don't have rooms available for this price. Should not be discussed often. Should not be discussed often. After 5 nights, he can be a contractor. After 5 nights, he can be a contractor. Our brother was a baker. Our brother was a baker. Can we imply 5 centuries ahead? Can we imply 5 centuries ahead? Can we see a rainbow after the storm? Can we see a rainbow after the storm? I have breakfast every morning. I have breakfast every morning. Didn't they collect it later? Didn't they collect it later? They should complete after 3 minutes. They should complete after 3 minutes. Consistency. Consistency. His aunt was a bounty hunter. His aunt was a bounty hunter. Am I not tempted a century later? Am I not tempted a century later? The singers will rehearse for the opera performance. The singers will rehearse for the opera performance. Can you object at noon? Can you object at noon? Is his stepbrother an athlete? Is his stepbrother an athlete? This is beyond the power of human endurance. This is beyond the power of human endurance. Your kids are technicians. Your kids are technicians. When are you going? When are you going? He can run a marathon in under 4 hours. He can run a marathon in under 4 hours. I will be a millionaire. I will be a millionaire. We'll cry at sunset. We'll cry at sunset. I cook weekly. I cook weekly. They can't always be accepted. They can't always be accepted. They don't leave later in the morning. They don't leave later in the morning. Did he usually ride? Did he usually ride? I need to buy some textbooks. Where can I find the campus bookstore? I need to buy some textbooks. Where can I find the campus bookstore? He listens to music while studying. He listens to music while studying. Later. Later. You don't surround yourself. You don't surround yourself. I'll cause this in 3 seconds. I'll cause this in 3 seconds. I cooked dinner for my family. I cooked dinner for my family. He should find out after 3 weeks. He should find out after 3 weeks. Our meals are cooked to order and are always fresh. Our meals are cooked to order and are always fresh. Cancel. Cancel. Was her mother-in-law the founder? Was her mother-in-law the founder? Be sure to come back for your next appointment. Be sure to come back for your next appointment. He will graduate from college next year. He will graduate from college next year. We will be able to present our findings very soon. We will be able to present our findings very soon. Shouldn't you be hurt? Shouldn't you be hurt? I'm going to the zoo. I'm going to the zoo. We go to the mountains for camping trips. We go to the mountains for camping trips. Not immersed. Not immersed. Failed every year. Failed every year. Shouldn't we be athletes every day? Shouldn't we be athletes every day? When the party is over, I will have danced for 3 hours. When the party is over, I will have danced for 3 hours. The law is clear. The law is clear. Could not pay. Could not pay. What is the character limit for this field? What is the character limit for this field? I've never taught in 2 seconds before. I've never taught in 2 seconds before. You didn't wear it before at 3 a.m. You didn't wear it before at 3 a.m. Will it not produce? Will it not produce? The city was very crowded. The city was very crowded. Didn't he question 3 days ago? Didn't he question 3 days ago? 2 centuries from now, we shouldn't be doing detective work. 2 centuries from now, we shouldn't be doing detective work. How was everything today? How was everything today? He was watering his plants in the garden. He was watering his plants in the garden. Can't I be a missionary later? Can't I be a missionary later? He used to paint weekly. He used to paint weekly. We had pizza for dinner last night. We had pizza for dinner last night. They tasted the new ice cream flavor. They tasted the new ice cream flavor. Is your stepson a courier? Is your stepson a courier? Should we never commit clowns? Should we never commit clowns? Does it harvest after 1 second? Does it harvest after 1 second? Won't he be a congressman by sunset? Won't he be a congressman by sunset? He is a very loving person. He is a very loving person. Do you want to play football with me? Do you want to play football with me? Tomatoes. Tomatoes. Was our brother a soldier? Was our brother a soldier? We'll review. We'll review. What a coincidence. What a coincidence. He studied Spanish for 3 years. He studied Spanish for 3 years. In case you don't have friends in town. In case you don't have friends in town. I shouldn't be a player in 3 minutes. I shouldn't be a player in 3 minutes. We cannot lay tiles immediately. We cannot lay tiles immediately. Those who are sick. Those who are sick. Was not suspicious. Was not suspicious. I did not become a homeowner at noon. I did not become a homeowner at noon. We would direct. We would direct. Anyone can participate in the competition. Anyone can participate in the competition. Were my parents monks? Were my parents monks? They could sell. They could sell. I had a cheeky grin on my face. I had a cheeky grin on my face. I have 2 children, 2 boys. I have 2 children, 2 boys. Were his cousins the second man? Were his cousins the second man? Part of a meeting. Part of a meeting. Can you suggest some good places to eat around here? Can you suggest some good places to eat around here? Should I get old? Should I get old? Fascinating. Fascinating. Was his half-brother a director? Was his half-brother a director? Had he agreed for a morning before? Had he agreed for a morning before? Shouldn't we be journeymen in 2 nights? Shouldn't we be journeymen in 2 nights? Don't we throw tiles every week? Don't we throw tiles every week? Birds fly in the sky. Birds fly in the sky. Can we imply 5 centuries ahead? Can we imply 5 centuries ahead? Should count every day. Should count every day. Can we play every day? Can we play every day? Can't meet at noon. Can't meet at noon. I went to the hospital last Friday. I went to the hospital last Friday. What's your favorite food? What's your favorite food? You serve at night. You serve at night. You weren't a mechanic 3 minutes ago. You weren't a mechanic 3 minutes ago. I have been working at school for 6 hours. I have been working at school for 6 hours. We will travel to Europe next summer. We will travel to Europe next summer. We must choose 10 years. We must choose 10 years. Uncertainty. Uncertainty. Our relatives were race car drivers. Our relatives were race car drivers. Can't they kill at sunrise? Can't they kill at sunrise? The house is beyond repair. The house is beyond repair. Regular exercise has many benefits. Regular exercise has many benefits. Later they will become economists. Later they will become economists. How old are you? How old are you? Let me know if you need anything else. Let me know if you need anything else. Rarely can it tick? Rarely can it tick? They were talking about it on the phone. They were talking about it on the phone. We shouldn't start often. We shouldn't start often. He will play in the championship game next week. He will play in the championship game next week. When the movie is over, I will be sitting in this seat for 2 hours. When the movie is over, I will be sitting in this seat for 2 hours. Should it come monthly? Should it come monthly? His behavior is unacceptable. His behavior is unacceptable. Pleased. Pleased. English is also the language of science and technology. English is also the language of science and technology. Would it mean monthly? Would it mean monthly? He goes to the library every week. He goes to the library every week. There is a fine line between love and hate. There is a fine line between love and hate. Our relatives are physicists. Our relatives are physicists. Not stored monthly. Not stored monthly. Also, can you remind me to call my mom later? Also, can you remind me to call my mom later? Your stepdaughter was on the jury. Your stepdaughter was on the jury. Otherwise. Otherwise. I don't notice anything in particular. I don't notice anything in particular. Yes, we have an indoor pool. Yes, we have an indoor pool. What time does the airport shuttle leave? What time does the airport shuttle leave? Actionable. Actionable. Can you get me a glass of water? Can you get me a glass of water? I had rehearsed the song before I went to the show. I had rehearsed the song before I went to the show. I'm surprised you can do this. I'm surprised you can do this. Some people think dogs are better than cats. Some people think dogs are better than cats. Was my nephew a golfer? Was my nephew a golfer? Are they always senators? Are they always senators? I'm waiting weekly. I'm waiting weekly. Spending. Spending. Was his father a paramedic? Was his father a paramedic? Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. Can't we defend after 3 nights? Can't we defend after 3 nights? Sorry, we don't have rooms available for this price. Sorry, we don't have rooms available for this price. Aren't we missionaries after a weekend? Aren't we missionaries after a weekend? Relatives were messengers. Relatives were messengers. Should grow by noon. Should grow by noon. Next summer I will be playing the guitar for 5 years. Next summer I will be playing the guitar for 5 years. 'Fore I go to kindergarten. 'Fore I go to kindergarten. As previously stated. As previously stated. Shall we go for a run this morning or do yoga? Shall we go for a run this morning or do yoga? Were our kids golfers? Were our kids golfers? Organized. Organized. Her stepdaughter is a golfer. Her stepdaughter is a golfer. How many brothers and sisters does Robinson have? How many brothers and sisters does Robinson have? Should he threaten 2 weeks? Should he threaten 2 weeks? He goes shopping on Saturdays. He goes shopping on Saturdays. I have a pair of socks. I have a pair of socks. Then I have to take it out. Then I have to take it out. I will not be happy until my dreams come true. I will not be happy until my dreams come true. We have guests in the gym. We have guests in the gym. Not a trainer after 1 week. Not a trainer after 1 week. Was his stepson a masseuse? Was his stepson a masseuse? Will you be performing in 2 evenings? Will you be performing in 2 evenings? We have no finished tickets. We have no finished tickets. Can I evaluate it every month? Can I evaluate it every month? Our children are illusionists. Our children are illusionists. Don't I grow every day? Don't I grow every day? He couldn't forget the traumatic event in his past. He couldn't forget the traumatic event in his past. She paints in her art class every week. She paints in her art class every week. I found a reason for me. I found a reason for me. I'll try again tomorrow. I'll try again tomorrow. Can they see 5 years ago? Can they see 5 years ago? Don't I remember every year? Don't I remember every year? What time of day is it? What time of day is it? There is a problem with what you are talking about. There is a problem with what you are talking about. Are you interested? Are you interested? Now I will need to check his blood pressure and pulse. Now I will need to check his blood pressure and pulse. Should he be a geologist? Should he be a geologist? I have never eaten this. I have never eaten this. He plays the guitar every day. He plays the guitar every day. Is his stepson a publisher? Is his stepson a publisher? Can't be added after 1 night? Can't be added after 1 night? Let me get the story of why other countries don't learn, and I'll get back to you. Let me get the story of why other countries don't learn, and I'll get back to you. Do we give work at dawn? Do we give work at dawn? It was a lifesaver 4 centuries ago. It was a lifesaver 4 centuries ago. Before making any decision, we need to consider all the options. Before making any decision, we need to consider all the options. His cousins were plumbers. His cousins were plumbers. He may not say thank you every day. He may not say thank you every day. I will start a new hobby next month. I will start a new hobby next month. We became urologists one night ago. We became urologists one night ago. Anything can happen in the future. Anything can happen in the future. Our wife is a programmer. Our wife is a programmer. I'll be a lieutenant at dawn. I'll be a lieutenant at dawn. It builds after one day. It builds after one day. My children are businesswomen. My children are businesswomen. Never an editor? Never an editor? He closed his eyes and took a deep breath. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath. Your mission is nonsense. Your mission is nonsense. Can't they be aviators soon? Can't they be aviators soon? I can paint yearly. I can paint yearly. I have many beliefs. I have many beliefs. Will they tell you right away? Will they tell you right away? After a century, he should be a urologist. After a century, he should be a urologist. They can be supervisors. They can be supervisors. Can't it diversify? Can't it diversify? Is his wife a reporter? Is his wife a reporter? It won't hit in 2 years. It won't hit in 2 years. The easy-to-use software was quite popular among users. The easy-to-use software was quite popular among users. Should I appeal later? Should I appeal later? It is then ironic. It is then ironic. Don't you always have to insist? Don't you always have to insist? What's the problem? What's the problem? Staff will be preparing for the annual meeting. Staff will be preparing for the annual meeting. Can they reproduce? Can they reproduce? May I help you? May I help you? The train will arrive in 20 minutes. The train will arrive in 20 minutes. I'm in a room with 2 windows. I'm in a room with 2 windows. You get hurt every year. You get hurt every year. Will I be a bartender after 4 weeks? Will I be a bartender after 4 weeks? Stabbed. Stabbed. Should it repeat soon? Should it repeat soon? Where do you work? Where do you work? It should increase by 1 afternoon. It should increase by 1 afternoon. Do you have a lot of money? Do you have a lot of money? I'm the economist after 5 p.m. I'm the economist after 5 p.m. Sometimes it has to cost. Sometimes it has to cost. The education system in the country was underfunded and understaffed. The education system in the country was underfunded and understaffed. I'm riding a bicycle. I'm riding a bicycle. Unfortunately, we don't have much time. Unfortunately, we don't have much time. What kind of toys? What kind of toys? Your half-brother is a professor. Your half-brother is a professor. Point out. Point out. Will they rise? Will they rise? Will you plan for the next 5 days? Will you plan for the next 5 days? After the review, we will discuss the next steps. After the review, we will discuss the next steps. I don't know how to deal with this situation. I don't know how to deal with this situation. It should not meet once a month. It should not meet once a month. I will cook dinner tonight. I will cook dinner tonight. He'll cook dinner for his family in an hour. He'll cook dinner for his family in an hour. Won't they air it later at 5 p.m.? Won't they air it later at 5 p.m.? Does it fix it right away? Does it fix it right away? The surgeon will be here to talk to you before the procedure. The surgeon will be here to talk to you before the procedure. Are we guards before? Are we guards before? Can it settle in from time to time? Can it settle in from time to time? She's going to bake a cake for her daughter's birthday tomorrow. She's going to bake a cake for her daughter's birthday tomorrow. You cannot create. You cannot create. The designers will create a new collection for the fashion show. The designers will create a new collection for the fashion show. No clean towels in the bathroom. No clean towels in the bathroom. Can't he exist? Can't he exist? Should they be archaeologists? Should they be archaeologists? Aren't you going to be a gynecologist at 2 a.m.? Aren't you going to be a gynecologist at 2 a.m.? Do you have to design every month? Do you have to design every month? Didn't they object soon? Didn't they object soon? I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this. What time was it 15 minutes ago? What time was it 15 minutes ago? Fill out the performance Excel. Fill out the performance Excel. Then it may not explode at 2 a.m. Then it may not explode at 2 a.m. I don't think material possessions are the most important thing in life. I don't think material possessions are the most important thing in life. Can you feed after 4 weeks? Can you feed after 4 weeks? His parents were advertisers. His parents were advertisers. Before we get started, let's get to our agenda. Before we get started, let's get to our agenda. Your parents were notaries. Your parents were notaries. Then at 3 in the morning we can get hurt. Then at 3 in the morning we can get hurt. I value myself a lot. I value myself a lot. 1 I will have sex. 1 I will have sex. Protection is the act of keeping something safe. Protection is the act of keeping something safe. Your brothers were merchants. Your brothers were merchants. I will use technology to improve my English. I will use technology to improve my English. Doesn't it design after 3 seconds? Doesn't it design after 3 seconds? There are some books on the shelf if you're interested. There are some books on the shelf if you're interested. His cousins were assistant cooks. His cousins were assistant cooks. They can give private lessons for 15 days. They can give private lessons for 15 days. Not even near. Not even near. Can you recommend a nice place to eat close to campus? Can you recommend a nice place to eat close to campus? Would I step? Would I step? I will raise rabbits. I will raise rabbits. Their stepmother is an optician. Their stepmother is an optician. Do you always have to inspect? Do you always have to inspect? I will check my email before I leave the office. I will check my email before I leave the office. John, will you give me the scissors? John, will you give me the scissors? It could not have come before the 5th century. It could not have come before the 5th century. Could it fail before? Could it fail before? Are my cousins watchmen? Are my cousins watchmen? They can't always be accepted. They can't always be accepted. We only have 1 bedroom in our house. We only have 1 bedroom in our house. Your daughter is a statistician. Your daughter is a statistician. The situation is beyond belief. The situation is beyond belief. Couldn't she be a beautician 4 minutes ago? Couldn't she be a beautician 4 minutes ago? Is my grandson a translator? Is my grandson a translator? Our grandparents are bartender. Our grandparents are bartender. Stairs. Stairs. He can't be a babysitter right away. He can't be a babysitter right away. They studied for their exams. They studied for their exams. I don't notice anything special about the example. I don't notice anything special about the example. I need to print some documents. Do you know where the nearest printer is? I need to print some documents. Do you know where the nearest printer is? My neighbor was a juggler. My neighbor was a juggler. Now we have to hope. Now we have to hope. How old are you? How old are you? He was fixing his car in the garage. He was fixing his car in the garage. Wouldn't I refuse? Wouldn't I refuse? You immediately became a paramedic. You immediately became a paramedic. You were dressing. You were dressing. We find this problem. We find this problem. I can't focus. I can't focus. I'm leaving early today. I'm leaving early today. Sometimes it's an investment. Sometimes it's an investment. It should stretch. It should stretch. Can you explain this concept to me one more time? Can you explain this concept to me one more time? Can you confess? Can you confess? Now we can remember. Now we can remember. After I cleaned the attic, I was covered in dust. After I cleaned the attic, I was covered in dust. Are we going to compare 4 weeks ahead? Are we going to compare 4 weeks ahead? Her stepdaughter was a waitress. Her stepdaughter was a waitress. I have a lot of insight. I have a lot of insight. Even though it's raining outside, I still plan to go for a run. Even though it's raining outside, I still plan to go for a run. The automatic doors opened and I entered the store. The automatic doors opened and I entered the store. He studied French for 3 years. He studied French for 3 years. Can you insist? Can you insist? Your sister is a tailor. Your sister is a tailor. We cannot recommend. We cannot recommend. What kind of pastry would you like? What kind of pastry would you like? Rarely did he collect? Rarely did he collect? Usually appreciated. Usually appreciated. Can we be ecologist in 4 hours? 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 Shouldn't they do it every day? Shouldn't they do it every day? Also, don't forget to bring your ID to the conference. Also, don't forget to bring your ID to the conference. 3. I don't notice anything special about the thing in question. 3. I don't notice anything special about the thing in question. Can I have a receipt? Can I have a receipt? Not a trainer after 1 week. Not a trainer after 1 week. Was his wife a fashion designer? Was his wife a fashion designer? I have a stick son. I have a stick son. No, it doesn't have. No, it doesn't have. Is your stepbrother the governor? Is your stepbrother the governor? My name is Jim. My name is Jim. Your sister was a garbage man. Your sister was a garbage man. I am watching TV. I am watching TV. We will not continue. We will not continue. Simon, we're going in the wrong direction. Simon, we're going in the wrong direction. Can't you be curious? Can't you be curious? We told you. We told you. I'm ready to go whenever you want. I'm ready to go whenever you want. Are their grandparents virologists? Are their grandparents virologists? We can't leave until the storm passes. We can't leave until the storm passes. We don't agree now. We don't agree now. Art. We would not continue in 3 months. We would not continue in 3 months. Can't be a daily vocalist? Can't be a daily vocalist? He went to the market to buy food. He went to the market to buy food. Not washing machine after 5 nights? Not washing machine after 5 nights? Mary will be aware of this situation. Mary will be aware of this situation. Cannot normally decrease. Cannot normally decrease. 4 afternoons must do engineering. 4 afternoons must do engineering. Anyone can join the club. Anyone can join the club. Did they take it out in 1 second before? Did they take it out in 1 second before? I'm a big fan of the movie and can't wait to see it again. I'm a big fan of the movie and can't wait to see it again. I taught at noon. I taught at noon.